Are you satisfied, happy, miserable? Are you looking for love in all the wrong places? It's time for the Michelle Hughes Show, where we keep it real. Tune in daily and join our controversial topics as we talk about singles, sex, and men and women's issues. And now, the queen of relationships on the Michelle Hughes Show. Always keeping it real. Your host, Michelle Hughes.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Single, Sex, and Satisfied. Yes, I'm your host, Michelle Hughes, and I have a topic for you today that I believe it's going to help you to understand some of your struggles. Yes, we're talking about singles overcoming obstacles. We all have those obstacles that we face each and every day of our lives, whether it's going to or through a traffic jam or someone saying something to you that you don't quite like, but you learn how to overcome those things. And if you don't learn how to overcome them, then sometimes they get the best of you. And so that's why I see myself as your coach. You know, every person who's an athlete, they became an athlete because what? They had a coach. It's amazing that we go through life and we never think to say to ourselves, you know, I need some counseling, or I need someone to help me through my life. And if you're single, that's not saying that you don't know what's going on in your life. It just means that you need some help. And so that's why I hope you'll tune in every day, Monday through Friday at 2 o'clock, and listen to your coach. I'm going to be your singles coach. Yes, look at me from that point of view. And when you look at it from that point of view, now you'll see me in a different light. Not just someone on the air trying to, you know, say something. No, I'm saying something that's going to help you hopefully find a good mate, a good person that you can end up maybe in a good marriage with for years to come. And so I am looking forward to you all emailing me, maybe inviting me to your weddings or coming to me saying, I really do want you to be my coach. We want to hire you. And so I believe that this is not by accident that you tuned in today. It's because we are going to talk about an issue that we all have faced somewhere in our lives. I'm going to give you Webster's dictionary definition on obstacle. It says here that something that obstructs or hinders progress. Overcoming, the definition for overcoming is to get the better of, in a struggle or conflict, conquer, defeat. And many of us, as this example says, to overcome one's weaknesses. We all have weaknesses, challenges. That's why people who are in sports, they have a gift. Oh yeah, they know that they're good at what they do, but they have to practice each and every day to become even better. And so that's what we're doing. We're practicing. We're getting our groove on by listening to the Michelle Hughes Show, getting tips, making ourselves more aware of some of our weaknesses, our strengths, and even to have better relationship skills that will help you understand some of your pitfalls, some of the things that has caused you to end relationships that might have been successful, but you don't know because there are some things inside of you that said, no way, And sometimes that was a good thing because you help that person to realize that, or they help you to realize they weren't the persons at that time. And so those are the things that we're hoping to help you with on a daily basis. If you come back, I want you to tell a friend. And if you have any questions that you would like to ask me, and until we, you know, in the future we're going to have call-in shows too. But right now, we're just getting to know each other. That's how I feel. I want you to get to know me, how I the information that I'll give you on a daily basis. But if there's some questions that you would like to ask me, why don't you go to my email address, and you can email me at single, sex, and satisfied 365 at gmail.com. Again, that's single, sex, and satisfied 365 at gmail.com. Yeah, I want you to go there and leave me some emails and let me know if you have any issues that you would like for me to address on the show. And trust me, I'll do it. Because, I mean, that's why I'm here. I'm your coach. I'm here to help you. And if you don't want me to know who you are, you don't have to leave your name. You could just jot it down, say, this is what I like for you to talk about, something I'm dealing with. And if I feel it's, presentable for the air, then I'll talk about it. If it's too much, then we would have to maybe schedule something. You have to leave your name and number, and we have to schedule maybe a private meeting that I can get with you and discuss it further. But again, today I was looking at some quotes, and this quote by Anthony Robbins, it really explains some of the things I believe that I'm trying to do here on the show, and even the show today. It says goals are means to an end, not the ultimate purpose of our lives. They are simply a tool to concentrate on, focus, and move us in a direction. The only reason we really pursue goals is to cause ourselves to expand and grow. Achieving goals by themselves will never make us happy in the long term. It's who you become as you become the obstacles necessary to achieve your goals that can give you the deepest and most long-lasting sense of fulfillment. And he said the truth there, because overcoming your obstacles is what helps you to become who you are. The more you realize that there are things inside of you that you need to work on inside of you, dealing with obstacles outside of you, maybe people, could be your work environment. But every time you're faced with obstacles, it's there to teach you something, to teach you how to better work with it, how to overcome it. Sometimes we have bad attitudes, and sometimes we got to deal with that attitude issue, because there are times we just blow up and, you realize later, I wish I hadn't blown up like that. Really, what did I accomplish from that blow up or blow out at someone? You have to go back and apologize, because sometimes you might have said things that wasn't nice. So that's why if we can get to a point to really begin to ask God to help us, Lord, help me to learn how to have a better personality by learning how to not get so angered at people or say things at the wrong times. And but now there are people who are manipulative and they're controlling. And in my book, The Secret's Out, The Living the Pain of Conditional Love, and the foreword by Dolores Mom Winans, in my book on page 29, I talk about that. Sometimes we deal with manipulative, controlling people, and you're trying to figure out, well, did I do something wrong, or what's happening here? But I'm going to tell you, there are 4 signs you have to look out for when you find yourself in a manipulative relationship or a person's being controlling. There are these 4 signs of a person who has traits of being manipulative and controlling. And number 1 is this person will want you to enter into a quick relationship with them. Or 2, you will enter a relationship that will lead to committing to a marriage proposal within like 30 days to 6 months. Or 3, they will want you to make a fast commitment to them because they do not want their controlling and manipulative character to be revealed. Or 4, they also do not want you to find out that they have an anger management problem. It is important that we take out time in entering relationships. And those are some of the obstacles that we have to overcome, because sometimes we're so happy to be in a relationship until we're not looking at that situation in a more objective way. And so that's why we're saying today you have to remember to look at that person and realize they're a human being first. And everyone, we come from different backgrounds. And this is the time when you're single to look at that person and find out as much as you can about that person so that you can learn how to overcome the obstacles in that relationship. I believe that people who marry too soon, you didn't give yourself a chance to really get to know that person so that you can work out all those little, hairy things that person may have in them. But if you work it out before you get married, now when you get married, you pretty much have resolved some of those issues that you have to work out because now you're in a marriage already. So that's why we're having this show, to help you to understand if you take it slow. When I say take it slow, I mean you're getting to know that person each and every day so that you can say what you will tolerate, what you can't tolerate, and so you can talk about it. And you can break it down and say, honey, there's some things I really enjoy about you, but there's some things that we're going to have to really talk about. And maybe we both can work together at seeing how we can relieve some of the aggravation that we sometimes have pitfalls in this relationship that is, getting next to me. You're getting an attitude with me, I'm getting an attitude with you. And it's not that we don't love each other, it's just that we're bumping heads. Because remember, you come from two different homes, and he was trained a certain way, you were trained a certain way, and now you got to bring those butting of the heads together to make it a uniform, so that you can get along in a good way where you can at least listen to one another. And I believe that respect is the key to any relationship. If you don't have respect in your relationship, you can guarantee you're not. Where can you go without respect? If that person doesn't respect you as a woman, if that woman doesn't respect that man as a man, maybe her mother didn't respect her father. All she heard was her mother downing her dad, putting him down all the time, never encouraging him. And maybe same thing. Maybe he heard his dad always downing his mother and, making her feel bad for having all those children. I didn't want all these kids. Or maybe she said, I didn't want all these kids, but unfortunately they're here. And so these are the things that we deal with on an everyday basis. And then when they come up in our relationships, you try to figure out why am I so angry? Well, you're angry because you heard some of these things in your home. Just like when kids grow up and they make fun of each other. I told you some of the things that my sisters, made fun of me. And so about certain things. And I'm sure you could say maybe some of your siblings made fun of you about certain things in your life. And you bring that into your marriage I didn't mean to say marriage, but you bring it to your relationship. And so these are some of the things that we're trying to help you to understand that, no, you're not a bad person. Maybe you're not a mean person. Maybe you just have been so aggravated all your life by someone coming at you, putting you down for whatever reason. And now you just go through life thinking everyone's like that. And you meet this terrific woman or you meet this terrific man, and they just want to see you for who you are and not down you. They don't want to put you down. They don't want to castrate you. They want to lift you up. But you won't give them that opportunity because all your life you feel like that's what you've endured. And so if you felt this all your life, this is what you've endured, now you get with a person who's more level-headed. He's, real laid back and not all, drama. He's drama-free, or maybe she's drama-free, or what have you, and you are the one with all the drama. Now you got to bring those two personalities together. And the only way you can resolve some of those issues is to listen and say, wait a minute, maybe it's me. And I'm telling you, people, sometimes that's the hardest thing for us to look at is ourselves. But you're going to find out on the Michelle Hughes Show, I'm going to continue to bring you to yourself, because it's always easy to look at that other person. Now, I'm not saying don't look at the other person, but it's time that we begin to look at ourselves and not always look at the other person who you think has the bigger problem. Because it's easy to cop out and say, oh, no, it's you. You know, you talk too much. You get on my nerves, and I'm just tired of it. Well, I'm sure they might be tired of you too. But that's not how you deal with relationship issues, by blaming one another. Well, we're going to go to a break. We're going to come back, and we're going to finish this conversation because obstacles can be overcome.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back as we deal with more heart-to-heart issues. This is the Queen of Relationships on the Michelle Hughes Show, where we keep it real. Stay with us on the Michelle Hughes Show. It's the Michelle Hughes Show. We keep it real. We talk about singles, sex, men and women issues. Come join the conversation on the Michelle Hughes Show. Are you satisfied, happy, or miserable? Are you looking for love in all the wrong places? Well, tune in daily and join our controversial topics. She is the Queen of Relationships on the Michelle Hughes Show. She keeps it real. Don't miss a show with Michelle Hughes.
All right, I want you to go and tell a friend to come to the Michelle Hughes Show every day at 2 o'clock, Monday through Friday, and let them know that she's here to be their coach. And when you spread the word, let them know that they can go back and listen to the replays and catch up on what we're talking about each and every day if they have not listened. Well, let's get back to overcoming obstacles. And basically we're dealing with singles who have obstacle issues. And, you may have to overcome the opinions of others. What about a person who got pregnant and, before getting married? You have to overcome being a single mother. I was reading an article and I like what she said. She said that being a single mother is never easy. Raising a family alone requires that you perform the roles of two people, the father and the mother. You will not have the luxury of sharing many of the jobs that two parents have, but nevertheless, you will need to address the concerns of these jobs: provider, disciplinarian, comforter, guidance, counselor, and so forth. It is important to realize, however, that being a single mother does not mean that you need to be alone. In order to be successful, you will need to learn how to make decisions and act on them. For example, how to use community resources, parental and family support, get financial aid. You may need respite time so that the needs and the interests of your children are met. You can be ready to meet the many challenges of a single mother by knowing how to handle such challenges in advance. And I believe that sometimes the single parent is overlooked, and now we have single fathers. It's not just single mothers who are taking on the challenge of raising their children. There are more single men who are raising children than people give them credit for doing it and taking on that duty as a father. Many years ago, basically that job was just left to the mother. But now men are saying, no, I love my children. And so now the parents are balancing out. Sometimes, they may keep them for a couple of years. The other one may keep them for a couple of years or whatever. And so that the kids will have a sense of awareness of who their parent is. Because when you're just only raised by one parent, all they get is reflection of that one parent and not the understanding of a two-parent home. And they may not be raised in the same home, but at least they get a flavor of who their parents are. Because I've talked to my friends and who basically were just raised by their mother, and they said, I really didn't know my father, and so they didn't have good understanding on how to even pick a mate. Because I believe that you learn how to choose a mate from the person in your home. Now, of course, we have the biblical point of view, going to the Bible and teaching us through the Word of God. But I'm saying, far as every day learning what to expect from a man, what to expect from a woman, and then there are men who have been raised only by their father, and they weren't raised by their mother. So it's the same thing. So I'm just saying that there are obstacles that we are facing every day of our lives, just like overcoming not being married. There are women who have never been married. There are men never been married, and so they have to take on the added responsibility of what a man would do. I know I'm learning that myself. Taking care of my mother. I cut the lawn. I'm not cutting the lawn because I wanted to cut the lawn. I cut the lawn because the people who were coming out, the many companies that I've had to do the lawn, they just mess up your grass, and the grass end up burning and everything. So anyway, I just took on that challenge, and to be truthful, I've come to enjoy it. So I could recall my sister, one of my sisters who's deceased, when she was married. Her husband enjoyed cooking, and she enjoyed being outside cutting the lawn and stuff. So even when you get married, you're going to find out that sometimes the roles changes because one person enjoys doing something over another duty. But I believe that if we find out some of those things while we're single, it just makes life a lot easier when you get there, when you get married, so that you won't be putting so much burdens on one person to do everything. I just don't think it's fair when we come together as a couple, and then you just want everything your way. You want this done a certain way, and not understanding that you have to balance the roles. Even as when you're dating, you have to balance out those situations, because if not, you're going to find yourself, belittling that person, not giving them the attributes that they really need by encouraging them. Well, I'm going to tell you what Booker T. Washington says. He says success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life as by the obstacles which he has overcome while trying to succeed. And I believe that is a true saying. It's the obstacles that we have overcome that helps you to become a better person, a better parent. I believe that if we don't learn some of the things that we learned through our childhood, sometimes a sibling, when you were a child, and not a child, as you were growing up, and you encountered your siblings, and sometimes there are good situations, sometimes there are bad situations. But I believe that we need to go back and understand that there's some negative feelings that happen in the home. And if you don't deal with those issues that took place in your home when you were being raised, those things just don't go away. I think people think they do, they don't. And then they filter into your children. Then haven't you seen, like, from one generation to the other generation, you're trying to figure out why is it that, some families, they have a tiff against another family. And these are relatives. And because that attitude got shifted to one generation to the next generation. And if you don't break that cycle of, belittling maybe a family member because they didn't do something you liked, or because maybe the grandmothers didn't get along, or the sisters didn't get along, and now you're carrying it over to your children. Now your children doesn't like this auntie because your mama didn't like it, your mother didn't like it because that was her sister. And it goes on from one generation to the next. And I know you all can, say, oh yes, I know what you're saying, Michelle, because that happens or it has happened in my family. And so I'm going to just say this. That's right. You can clap your hand to that because it exists each and every day. That's why you have fractions in families. One side of the family doesn't like that other side of the family, or that sister doesn't like the brother doesn't like the sister, and it goes on and on and on. And then when you come together, you think you're going to have a good family gathering. No, you're going to bring those same attitudes together. So these are some of the obstacles that we have to break if we want better family relationships, especially those who say they're Christians. When you're a Christian, there are people who, I don't care what you do, they're going to come and they are just, I hate to say it, but they just plain evil. They have an evil nature in them, and that evil nature has to be cast out. And if it's not cast out, they have to realize that they're evil, and Lord help me. And that's like many of us. No one's perfect. I can't sit up here and say that I didn't cast out some evilness in me. Yeah, you do. You have to say, no, I'm not gonna continue to be this way. I'm not gonna be me. I'm not gonna be mad with my sister or my brother. No, for what reason? Now, it doesn't mean you have to be in their face every day, especially if you feel that maybe they have some issues with you. There's no need in you trying to mend things if they don't see there needs to be mending. So that's where I believe God comes into the equation, and the Holy Spirit comes into the equation to help you realize it's time for a change. And we have to overcome those obstacles through God's help. I mean, you could do it on your own, and people have done it on their own to find what? Next thing you know, they're fussing, they're mad with one another, and now they're not speaking for months. And that's not what we are trying to give out here. No, we want to break down those barriers, and let's begin to say, we need to talk. Well, let's talk, but let's ask God to intervene in this conversation, because if not, we're going to find ourselves, mad with one another. We're just not going to get along, and we want to have a better relationship this year. And you have to make some promises to yourself, like, okay, I'm going to be a better person this year. I'm going to learn how to talk without always criticizing someone. I don't have to always be right. And sometimes if you don't let the other person be right, even though they might be wrong about something, maybe in your opinion, but just let them have the floor for a minute and let them express themselves. And maybe you'll learn something from them. And I believe that's how you learn to appreciate each other. And if you don't learn now, don't think it's going to go away when you get married. No, it's just going to be added into your marriage, and your partner won't understand why you act the way you do, but it's because you have not broken down those barriers that you learned from your childhood. I have to say that in my family, we're very, my mother always allowed us to speak our opinions. And sometimes I think we've learned how to speak almost to a fault. And I thought it was a fault. Maybe someone else may not think that way in my family, but I thought it was to a fault. And as I begin to grow in the things of God, I begin to say, I don't have to always defend myself. And when there was conversations that came up, and I could have beat the head into the nail. I mean, just beat that nail into the wood until it wouldn't stop. Letting them know what I felt. But I realized, listen, they're opinionated, you opinionated, you all have your opinions about whatever. And so sometimes just be quiet. So I begin to not talk a lot. When I say not talk, I begin not to share everything that I felt maybe at that moment. Because I didn't think, what's the point? It's not like someone's getting some money for just sharing their opinion, and especially if it's going to lead to an argument. And I know many of you probably have families like that too. That one thing leads to another. Next thing you know, it's a big debate. Everybody's got to win. Someone's going to lose because it's got to be a win-win situation for some people. And that's where overcoming the obstacles of having to win must stop with someone, and let it be you. Let maybe at your next family gathering, the holidays coming up, and maybe at this family gathering, maybe you'll just say, I'm just going to try out what Michelle's saying, and I'm going to see if it works. I'm not going to continue to argue with my family members. I'm just going to let them have the floor. I will maybe say some things, but I'm not going to allow myself to get into an argumentative situation that's going to lead with maybe sometimes once somebody's getting mad and they leave, everybody's mad, and sometimes people start fighting at these functions. So no, it's somewhere we have to resolve issues by saying enough is enough, and we're not going to allow dysfunction to end like this because we're learning how to overcome our obstacles. And an obstacle is dealing with family members. And if you don't learn how to deal with your family, I don't know how you're going to end up in a relationship, because you can't get rid of your family members. You may want to get rid of them, but they still there. Now, you can go across the world, and somewhere you still going to have some contact, especially with Facebook, Twitter. Some people, they be leaving nasty stuff on their Facebook pages, so it doesn't go away. They may not be talking to you, but they're still leaving, just nasty stuff, maybe on your Facebook page. So no, it doesn't go away. So you have to learn how to deal with these issues, and the only way you can deal with them is you change. And that's how I learned how to overcome the things in my life. And I'm not going to say that every situation is, perfect. No. But one thing I can say, I've learned to talk to myself and say, no, go back and apologize to that person because you were wrong. And sometimes they were the wrong person. But no, you apologize, because what you're doing is you are keeping out so much friction, all that animosity, and it just keeps peace. And if you believe in love, then charity goes a long way when you can begin to say, I don't always have to be right. And that's the truth. You really don't have to always be right. Well, and then when you don't have to always be right, what happens? Nobody is no losers. There's no loser. And I'm going to read what Sasha, I think her name is Azizavada, Azivida. Anyway, something like that, y'all. Y'all help me out. Her quote says this: I certainly don't regret my experiences, because without them, I couldn't imagine who or where I would be today. Life is an amazing gift to those who have overcome great obstacles, and attitude is everything. And see, Sasha, I agree wholeheartedly with you. Attitude is everything. It is the course of the day. This is how you become who you are, through your attitude, whether it is good or bad or indifferent. You have to make that decision far as how far you're going to go when you are communicating with people. And in life, you got to communicate. You can't get around that. So you have to decide how far you're going to go when you find yourself, your blood is beginning to rush to your head because you're so angry. And we all been there where you just want to just say what you have to say and get it off your chest, and you feel relieved, right? Now, the other person who you just told off, they dealing with all that ruckus you done gave them. Now, they don't feel too happy. So that's what we have to remember. The other person. How, because you are trying to deal with the obstacle of whatever that person did to you at that moment, how is that overcoming having a better relationship with that individual? That's the key. And I think we will begin to ask ourselves, before you open up your mouth and you see yourself getting angry, just have a countdown. Count to 10. And say, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And count slowly until you find yourself calming down. And remember that in calming yourself down, you're talking to yourself and you're saying, I'm overcoming this obstacle. I'm overcoming this obstacle by realizing that it's not going to help our relationship. If I tell her how I feel right now, while I'm angry, I'm going to say things I regret. And so therefore, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. Now, nobody hears you saying this in your head, but you're talking to yourself. I'm saying it so you can begin to do this. This is one of the exercises that I'm going to say that you need to use. When you find yourself getting angry and you want to just say ugly things to a person that you're going to regret in the end, you may end up losing a good relationship because of anger. And so what you're going to do, you're going to count to 10. And you're going to ask God, Lord, help me to not lose it. I do not want to lose it. And you won't lose it. You won't lose it. You won't lose it. You won't lose it. I guess you're getting it, right? Oh, well, let's see. You did you get it? Or do you need to get on the You need to take an airplane to another state to get away from that person. Or maybe you should act like you on that airplane when you find yourself getting so angry. Just say, oh, I envision myself right now. I envision myself on this airplane and I'm going to, I don't know, Hawaii to get away from all these difficult people. So now you've overcome your obstacle. You overcame that obstacle by what? Envisioning yourself someplace else. That might be the quickest way to get yourself out of trouble. Now, some people, they may say, oh, I ain't doing all that. Oh, no, it's real. I'm going to tell them how I feel. Well, you could tell them how you feel, but is that overcoming your obstacle? See? How did the single mother overcome her obstacle? She had to realize that there are things that I have to do. The other person's not there with me anymore. I have to take on my challenge of taking care of my children. What about the single people who now maybe they're not dating? If you're not dating, what you going to do? You're going to learn how to live by yourself until that person comes and you'll find yourself in a dating position. But right now, you should be concentrating on, okay, let me learn Michelle. Let me learn whoever your name is. Say your name. Learn yourself. Learn how to get along with you so that you will be a better partner to someone else. I don't believe what I'm saying is it's not difficult. It's just that we don't challenge ourselves enough. We just wait until we get in that position when it's too late. Now you got the person, and now you're trying to change. Once the person comes, when now it's the time to begin to change some of the areas that you know you need to change, because you know you still gonna have to make some changes after that person comes, because you're still dealing with a person who's got to get to know you. You got to get to know them. So you're still making changes, but I'm talking about those changes that are really, really unbearable. And some of them may not even be unbearable, but just some things that you just need to get a little tight, tighter, handle on some things inside of you. Well, obstacles to overcome. Number one is what? Getting to know yourself better. Once you get to know yourself better, I just believe that you become easier to get along with. Because now you can, as I just did, the little exercise I just gave you, you begin to talk to yourself because what? You're getting to know you. You're not waiting for other people to tell you who you are. I don't need the world to tell me who I am. It's good they tell me that I'm great. But I don't want them always to tell me the negative things, unless they do it in a positive way. And a lot of times when people tell you negative things, it's always in a way that is just, wow, it's to the gut. In a hurting way. You want someone to sit back and tell you in a positive way so that you can maybe incorporate the change into your life. And that's what we're trying to do here on the Michelle Hughes Show. We're trying to tell you in a more positive manner so that you can see it from a different point of view, not when you already, feeling anger, but before you get to that point. Now, we all been there, but I'm saying now that you can challenge yourself, because I'm giving you some exercises to say what to do better. You may use your own exercise. I'm just giving you some things that, I use myself. But you can use what works for you. I'm just saying, do something. Just don't sit back and allow life to just beat up on you. And then you feel like all you have to do is just take it in. No, that's not what life is all about. You don't have to take in all the negativity. No, begin to say, I want something different this year. I want to be a different person. And how you become a different person? By overcoming your obstacles. Number 2 is know your difficult qualities. I believe that when we understand our difficult qualities, the things that sometimes maybe other people have told you, have checked you about, but you say, "Oh, phooey on them. Who are they? They can't tell me anything." But that's the time that you need to sit back and say, "Okay, maybe I should listen to some of the people, because I'm not only hearing it from them, I'm hearing it from other people too." Now, sometimes we do. We hear it from other people. Now it's just from one person. It could be whatever that situation. I'm not going to sit here and name things today, but I want you to sit back and think of some things that you need to change in. And number 3 is know your great qualities. We all have qualities that it just makes us who we are. I mean, people will just, applaud you for those great qualities. Now, for those qualities that were negative, they be booing you, right? They may not come out and boo you, but that's what they're doing. But what we want to do is concentrate on those great qualities, those qualities that make you who you are. I hope there's a uniqueness about Michelle Hughes. And you should know in yourself there's a uniqueness. It's almost like when you hear a singer, if you heard them from afar, you would say, oh yes, that's whoever your great singer is. You would know that voice, right? And so that's what you want people to see you as. That person, when they see you, they see not the negative attributes about you, but the positive attributes. That when they look at you and say, oh yeah, that's that person that, they encourage me. I want you all to look at me and say, yeah, that's Michelle Hughes. That's our coach. Yes, I do. I want you to say, she helped me in the area. When I was the most weakest, when I thought I couldn't make it, I listened to her replays and it helped me, encouraged me to become a better person. Yeah, that's why I'm here. I believe that's why God sent me here. Just for you to understand you're not by yourself. We all have challenges, but it's how we work through our challenges to become that better person. Instead of listening to all that negativity, all the clamor out there that just woo 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 woo. Yeah, woo 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 woo. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? All that booing at you. You get tired of people booing you. You want them to what? Woo, 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 woo. Yeah, everybody wants a little cheering. You can't go through life and always get beat up. So that's why we're here to say, no more of that. No more of that. You are on your way to being that person that God has ordained you to become. And I don't know who that person is on the inside of you, but it's about to leap out of you. It's about to leap out of you because you are going to give yourself that opportunity to grow, to leap to those, extraordinary things that you would have never thought you would be doing. Look at me. Who would think I would be up here talking to you? But I'm here. And so you're going to challenge yourself this year. You're going to challenge yourself to do more than you ever have in your life. And number 4 is know how you view, how you are being viewed by yourself, and take away those views that maybe your family members may have of you. Or maybe, what about how your parents view you? What kind of relationships do you have with your siblings? And some people don't understand how much that affects you, how your siblings look at you. If they don't like you, if they do like you, or when you're around them, it's always negativity. Or maybe you're the loving person in your family and they just love you and adore you. Well, that's a good thing, but not everybody receives that type of love from their siblings or their parents or aunts and uncles or cousins or what have you. So you have to remember that there are going to be times that you're going to have to be around family members. And how are you going to deal with that? Now that you are beginning to say, new beginnings for me. I'm overcoming these obstacles. You got to challenge yourself. How am I going to deal with my sister who's always at me when I'm with her? Or my brother he's always at me. Maybe a brother with a brother. You got to learn how to tackle those things before you get into it. Don't wait till you get into the situation. You got to begin to talk to yourself because you know it's coming. Oh, yeah, it's coming. It's coming. And if you know it's coming, then you have to learn how to deal with it before it deals with you. And the only way you can do that is by doing some of those things, those exercises that I'm giving you. Count to 10. Begin to talk to yourself. Work through it. Now, you may blow it sometimes, but you're going to come back and say, oh, no, I'm not running out the door. I'm not leaving mad. I'm not going to let nobody get under my skin. I'm going to overcome the obstacles in life. Because until you overcome those obstacles, you're going to continue to find yourself running away from it. Or you may not run from it. You may just keep being mad. You're angry. You're feeling just like a person who has no friends or what have you. You know how you're feeling at this moment. Whatever that anger may be on the inside of you. But you are challenging yourself to say, enough is enough. Well, I'm going to go to a break. Give you a chance to feed on what I just told you.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back as we deal with more heart-to-heart issues. This is the Queen of Relationships on the Michelle Hughes Show, where we keep it real. Stay with us on the Michelle Hughes Show.
All right, yes, we're back. And again, I want you to tell a friend about the Michelle Hughes Show. We want them to come and receive what you're receiving. I thank you for coming today because it lets me know that someone is listening to the show. But not only that, but they are growing from the things that we're giving them each and every day. Because if you're not growing, then we shouldn't be here. No, we're still going to be here, okay? Because I believe that, we are here because you want us here. Now, getting back to the obstacles that we deal with on an everyday basis, ask yourself some questions like, what are you looking for in an ideal partner? Have you ever asked yourself that? What are some of the qualities that you're looking for in a partner? When I say partner, I mean boyfriend, girlfriend, because I'm talking to singles. Have you asked yourself? Begin to write some of those things down. Write down some of the things that you're looking for in a partner. And then you have to ask yourself, what do I have to give to that partner? So write down some of the things that you feel in your spirit that you have to give to that person. Because it takes two to be in a relationship. And I believe that if you don't know what you're looking for, then when you out here, you'll just take whatever comes. I've seen people do that. Whether it was good, bad, or indifferent, they accepted it because that person wanted them. And then they let that person, as we read before, just earlier, about those manipulative, controlling people. And when people are like that, they go after people who know who they are, but they don't know what they want. And so today, you're going to begin to say, I have to know some of the things that I want in life. Now, you're going to let God be the chooser of the person, I would think. He's going to send a person to you. But sometimes we accept anything. We don't even have any idea what we are looking for in a person. So then you got to begin to ask yourself that. And I'm not talking about the color of their hair, what kind of body they have. We're not talking about those attributes, okay? I'm talking about downright what you like. I mean, do you like a person who enjoys talking, or they read books, or they like to go to affairs, or you know what I'm saying? Just things that you know that you want in a person, not just the outward attributes. That's important, but we're not talking about, that's not the we're not talking about those that's not the category we're talking. We're not talking about the attractiveness. We're talking about just downright the things that interest you as an individual. And so I believe that when we begin to write those things down, we will have more clarity about the things that we are looking for in an individual. If you don't know those things, you're going to find yourself always in bad situations. Sometimes we are in bad situations because you find out later, okay, he doesn't have anything I'm looking for. And the reason why he doesn't have anything you're looking for, because you didn't answer yourself those questions before. Now, what you need to do, what I want you all to do, can I give you all assignment? I am your coach. And the coach is saying this. This is going to be your assignment for the weekend. I want you all to write down some things that you would love to have in your mate. Okay? Males, if you're a male, the female, if you're female, what you're looking for in a male. Write some of those things down, because that's going to begin to help you realize some of the things that you received from your past. And now I want you to think back on some of the things that you received from your past that you didn't like. Now I want you to write down some of those things that you don't want in an individual, because you're going to think back on all those things that you received from the past that you accepted, that you will no longer accept in anyone under no circumstances. Now those have to be some clarity, some thoughts. Some things don't have to be too much of a thought. You can write that down like immediately, some of those things. But some of those things you need to think back on, you may not remember. And you need to give it some good thoughts about what you won't accept in your next relationship. Because what this is doing is helping you to have more clarity about what to look for, so you won't keep experiencing the same obstacles. We should be overcoming in our obstacles. Obstacles are there to teach us what not to do. Isn't that what the dictionary gave us? Obstacle is what? Something that constructs or hinders progress. So now you want to overcome those obstacles, but overcoming is to do what? To get the better of in a struggle or conflict, to conquer, to defeat. In other words, you're overcoming being in relationships that didn't work in the past. You're not going to continue to accept wrong relationships because this person finds you attractive or you find them attractive. That's good, but you got to look into it deeper than that to find out, what is this person bringing to the table? Because if they're not bringing enough to the table, there you go. There's going to be another obstacle. And remember, we're learning from the obstacles from the past, the things that we accepted from our past, and now we're saying, no more. I'm not going to continue to do the same thing. So I hope you wrote those things down, because this is how we learn. This is how we grow. I believe that if we're not growing each year, do you challenge yourself to grow every year? I always challenge myself. I want to do something different. My girlfriend, she says, Michelle, you always doing something. When I invited her to the show to listen in, I said, yeah. I'm thinking, yeah, because I challenge myself. And so what are you doing? Are you challenging yourself? I don't know what that challenge is for you. Yours could be maybe I'm going ice skating this winter, or I'm going on a cruise, or I want to do some speaking this year. Whatever that might be, challenge yourself. And then don't just challenge yourself. Say, I'm going to do it. And when you say you're going to do it, you will do it. Write it down. And then put yourself to some work. I had to challenge myself this week. You all know 2 days my show didn't come on. And I couldn't figure out what was wrong. And that second day when I still didn't come on, I just put the mic down. I went back to see. I said, I'm not going to do it, because that first day, Monday, I did a whole show and didn't nobody hear me. And so the second day, when I realized it still, I checked to see if it was working, and I realized, really, I don't know if I checked it or not. I can't remember now. But anyway, I did the second day. I checked to see if it was working. So I went and got some more equipment. Still wasn't working. And so I said, okay. Then I realized he gave me the wrong equipment. So what I'm trying to say is that I could have gave up. I told you I heard T.D. Jakes on there, Bishop T.D. Jakes and Pastor Joel Osteen saying, don't give up. Don't give up. And I'm like, okay, I'm not. And that's what I'm telling you today. Don't give up. Keep challenging yourself. Even when it seems like, Michelle, you talk a good talk, but you don't know my situation. Well, listen, my situation this week wasn't easy. It wasn't an easy situation. If you think it was, I'm here to tell you, I felt like just saying, forget about this show. And that's why I told you when I went to the show, I said, don't give up. God had the right people at the right time. And he got me here for you today. Don't give up. Overcome your obstacles. This is how you're going to make it in life. Everything's not going to be easy. Anything worth having is going to come with sometimes a little struggle. And if you think it's going to come easy, it probably is not worth having. Okay? And so anything worth having, it's going to take you through some boundary changes. Maybe it might be you need some new friends. Maybe you need to change who you're associating with. Maybe you're around the wrong people. Sometimes we have the wrong people talking to us. And that's why we can't get any further, because we got them same people that's been with us forever. And I'm telling you, sometimes them old folks that you've been hanging on to for years, you need to get some new people. I'm telling you. And I'm here to say, when I'm over a friend, I'm over it. And it takes me a long time to get to that point. But when God begins to show me that basically this person is not for me, they don't have my back, and they can do negative things to me, then I can say this: no, you're not my friend. I might have been a friend to you, but you're not my friend. And so that's what we have to begin to understand. Everybody's not your friend. Everybody coming in your face not your friend. They may be your friend for whatever they trying to get from you, but it's not because they're there to be your friend. And we need to stop trying to make people who shouldn't even be in your life in your life. And so, again, write some things down. Maybe you need to write some names down on your list and saying, these some people, they're getting out of my life because they don't, every time I do something positive, they got something negative to say. Watch people, no matter what you do, they always got something, this could go this way. Well, we know what it could do, but we saying this is how I want to do it. So can you say something positive instead of saying what could come out of the situation? No, you got to begin to realize that there are people who, no matter what you do, they always got something negative to say. And I can't tell you who to eliminate out your life. That's something you have to allow the Holy Spirit to show you who's good for you, who need to go. And then some people need to go. Like I said, go. Tonight, I want you to write down go. And then write some names down. Put go by their name. Maybe that'll help you out to say, you getting out. Because you have not added to my life in 15 years. Every time I bring something to you, you the cause of me not doing some of the things I was doing because I'm stupid enough to sit and listen to you. That's right. Because sometimes you are stupid. I'm stupid too. If you sit around listening to stupid people who are not for you, I'm just being blunt to that. Because it is what it is. And there are people, I don't care what you do in life, they're not going to support you. They're going to support somebody who they know ain't thinking about them. And they go all across town and support somebody. And then they look at you like, oh, you doing something? And you want to laugh back at them like, I don't need your support. Because God will bring other people to support me. And so that's what you have to realize. When God is in what you're doing, you don't need those naysayers trying to help you. Matter of fact, God keep them away from you. Because he knows that he's trying to challenge you to do what you need to do. So they can't even call your number. They can't even call you because they know that if they called you, they're not going to say nothing positive about what you're doing anyway. So I'm telling you people, I hope you're getting something from our show because I am your coach and we're going to be here and we're going to help you grow as a single. It's time for singles, especially those who are Christian, to begin to don't just, go to church. And most of us not reading the Bible anyway. All we do is go to church and we come out the same person we went in. I'm going to challenge you this year to say, let's do something different. Okay? Let's overcome our obstacles. And the only way you're going to overcome your obstacles is to begin to say, I want to change. I'm going to change this year. And by changing, you are going to begin to do new things that you've always wanted to do, but you put it on the back burner because of what somebody said. So this year you're going to say, enough is enough. I'm getting up and I'm going to do more for me this year. That's right. You heard me? I said for you. You're going to say for me. for me this year. That's right. You're going to say, what? For me this year. And I'm not saying to be selfish and don't help other people. But there comes a time that you can't grow until you begin to help who? Yourself first. And some of us are in a big mess and we don't even know how we got there. Well, listen, in spirit, been real. And I'm going to see you on the holiday. We'll see you Monday. So remember, we keep it real.
Thanks for tuning in to the Michelle Hughes Show. Join us daily for more hot topics with the Queen of Relationships. Always keeping it real. See you tomorrow on the Michelle Hughes Show. Are you satisfied?